I didn't know much about it until I came to Greece in 1973. I heard about Delphi. There was a sacred, beautiful, ancient site. But I didn't get to know it until 10 years later. I was working and finding my way to adapt myself back to my homeland. So therefore, ancient sites and all that, I only discovered them after I came to Greece. But this is what I wanted since I left Greece in 1948. I went to Brazil, grew up in Brazil, but my dream always was asking my mother, why did you leave Greece? I missed it very much. Although Rio is one of the most beautiful places in the world, but I missed Greece. I missed the air of Greece. I have the memories of 8 years since I was born until I was 8 years. I missed very much the transparency of the waters of Greece, the mountains, everywhere my mother took us until I was 8 years old. And I was looking forward, after having traveled a whole world nearly with the ballet groups, ballet companies, inside me, I wanted to come back to my homeland. And I wanted to see all I could see about Greece. And I did. I was always very attracted to art. And when I had the opportunity with the ballet companies that I traveled all around the world, my aim was always to visit the museums, you know. And then I started creating inside me the need of alleloepidrasy of the arts together. What we call in Greek alleloepidrasy, technon, means the union of different arts together. I believed in that very much. So I started drawing a little bit, doing dances sometimes, but I observed a lot in the museums, the arts, you know. I visit everything, you can imagine, in the Prado, in the Louvre. I lived in the Louvre in Paris, where I lived for 6 years. I would always go there on Sunday, which was free also. And I just spent the whole day there, visiting, watching, learning. And so therefore, I took a lot. And gave me a very strong taste of aesthetics, you know, the aesthetic side of the arts. My strength, I think I have a good energy, because I also cultivated that energy, you know. Through dancing, you become athletic. You're not only dancing, you know. The ballet technique requires a great discipline, and this discipline is been with me since I started dancing. And I carried, even now, I don't stop gymming. I do a little bit every day. That means that little bit is only half an hour, but I do it.
Kalliopi, who'd been running a ballet school in Athens, closed her school, and wanting to keep active, she went into starting to do sculptures of dance themes. And I was very interested, and I took a few just basic photographs of them with nothing very special in mind. But then started thinking about putting different backgrounds, adding a bit of colourful textiles or a bit of lighting from a different angle, which of course really was a recall of some of my theatre directing experience. But I was very much a beginner, but it somehow worked as Kalliopi got more imaginative, more skillful with her sculptures. I started taking more, perhaps more interesting, more creative photographs of those sculptures. I don't know where these artistic ventures might take me. I had a very clear ambition when I was a theatre director. I wanted to be one of the top directors in Britain. And this was a huge mistake. Not perhaps because I didn't have the ability, but it just was a false imposition to say, I must do this, I must get there. And I dropped it completely as I dropped out of the theatre business. And nowadays, or I could even say ever since, I've been much more, well, I'll do this and enjoy it and do it to the best of my abilities, whatever it may be, and we'll see where it goes. I think one of the things I feel as an Englishman living in Scotland, and particularly my own personality, I quite like being some kind of an outsider. It's not that I feel unhappy in England, but I don't want to just fit in completely. I don't want to be absolutely 100% integrated part of the world around me. I like to be slightly outside it. And here in Scotland, I feel that to some degree. I don't have a problem understanding. I understand quite a lot of the Scots tongue in a way that perhaps not many English people would. I'm quite familiar with a lot of Scottish folk music. I've appeared as an actor in quite a lot of Scottish works, even playing Scotsman. I say that I'm the only English actor who's allowed to play Scots people. So it's the feeling of belonging and not belonging, and that's what really works for me.
Now, one of the guardians said to me, "Come and see the dancers, they're right there," and I had forgotten that I had seen them maybe some years ago when I visited the museum many times, but that's about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and I didn't remember them. And I go into this opening which joins into our show, our exhibition, and I see these huge statues of, about 5 meters high. There are 4 dancers. I said, "Oh my God, what am I doing here?" But then I said, "It's okay. That's how it is. And we're going to do our show." And they are doing their show. So I was okay. We get a lot of people. It's incredible because most of the shows we did before, after the opening, we had very few people coming in. Here, you get an invasion of people. And very, very often I know that these people don't know anything about art. But I believe that if an artwork is real, it should touch the experts and the people who don't know anything about it. They should move all the 2 extremes. This is real art.
It's also a stunningly beautiful place. If you look out from, anywhere in Delphi, even where we're sitting now, and certainly even more if you go up through the ancient site to the top, where you're at the stadium there, and look down across the valley, you have the most beautiful and sublime view. The power of nature, of geology, and of ancient times is there speaking to you. Well, a magic moment for me was when Yorgos, our printer, came along with his whole family, 3 lovely, very young children. And Yorgos, of course, knows all the photographs because he's been printing them, and some of them more than once. And he came along and obviously enjoyed it and appreciated it and recognized things. And his children were seeing all these things for the first time. And as they left at the end, the little girl, who is, I think, something like 4 or 5 years old, she just looked up at me as I said goodbye to her. She speaks a little English. And she said in perfect English, "You are amazing." And I felt almost moved to tears by that.
I'm very moved by his work, what he's done with the photographs of my career, because it's not that it reminds me of what I did before, because I carried all my life. Dance is within me, and especially all the roles I dance very often, I dance them again in my mind, in my heart, But Vincent, what he brought into these photographs, their artwork, they give a new life into my photographs. And although they were very good photographs, because they were very famous photographers who took me in Argentina and in Paris and different places, in Amsterdam. But the way he presents them, they become even richer than what the photographers took, you know. He works on them in a special way. He adds his fantasy, his colors, and he's mixing up with the Nikos Yard elements, which is something very, very, very beautiful, very special, and I love them, absolutely.